I will try to give you a quick introduction of Soderberg Partners and give you our journey into the low-code space and Mendix in particular, and also give you a few lessons learned on that and what we see as, or as I see as, the main key drivers. But first of all, my name is Karlsson. I've been with Soderberg for 12 and a half years. Worked mostly within the non-life business, so insurance. But as of 3 years ago, I started the intelligent automation team, which I'm head of now, but also back at non-life as CTO for that business area as well. So I have two hats, basically. But that's, short about me. So Soderberg Partners are mainly in 3 different business areas. So we are employee benefits, mostly in Sweden, pensions. We are in the non-life insurance industry, so we are in there, and wealth management or private banking. So we are a broker and not an insurance company, not a bank. So we are brokering or advising in all of these 3 fields. And on top of that, we do a bit of financial technology, purely selling IT systems as well, sort of runoffs from different internal things that we've been able to sell as well. We provide also external services like payroll outsourcing, benefit portals, and other things as well that sort of spun into different own business areas on top of the 3 main ones. We also do asset management. The journey started in 2004, so we're quite fairly new company. And grown quite extensively into that. I joined in 2011, so been quite a journey since then as well. Then we were only in Sweden. Now we are in 5 countries, all the Nordics and the Netherlands, and we are growing quite rapidly in all the sort of 3 main business areas. And now I think we have a turnover roughly around 6.6 billion SEK. And we have 2 main sort of private equity owners on top of the sort of founders that still are active in the company. So KKR joined in 2000 and TA Associates as well rejoined. They were on the journey first and then rejoined as well a year ago. It's just some numbers where we are. We are quite a lot of people. A lot of these people work as brokers, advisors, and administrators. So the central functions are quite smaller. So we will get a bit onto that when we get into what we do. So where are we coming from when we started this journey? A lot of Soderberg's cultures comes from build it yourself. So we wasn't that big on buying. So a lot of in-house development, building our own systems and platforms, coming from that there wasn't a lot to support this business when we started in 2004. And that gives us that we only had 1 tool in the toolbox, so to say. You have to build it with your coding base or developers, and that was it. And a bit of as well IT to business thinking, how can sort of not how to support the business, more of what can we build or what can we do technology wise, and then sort of give that to the business rather than the other way around. Giving the business sometimes maybe stuck in sort of manual processes or not giving the support that they needed or in the pace they needed. A bit exaggerated all of this, of course, but gives you a view of where we're coming from. So our low-code journey, it started in 2019 with RPA. So we started looking into that and did a POC on that with Blue Prism. And found out that sort of opened the door to walk out to the world and see, okay, you can buy a lot of things coming from build it yourself. And also that a lot of things were out there. So RPA started and we built a lot of processes with that, realizing, okay, we need to measure this. So we added on the layer of, okay, how to do more of sort of data mining, measuring the processes we automated and all of that. But in our business, we do a lot of documents. So I guess in your industries as well, still a lot of PDF documents flying around in emails and unstructured data. And we had a lot of that, 300,000 transactions of that just in non-life every year, PDF documents coming to us with no sort of digital data. So together with sort of RPA and digital processing of documents, we could start extracting it and automating it even more. And if you're not familiar with Abby, it's one of the leading sort of OCR tools and data extraction from documents. So you build templates and extract the data from it. We also Soderberg moved into the cloud around this time as well, and that opens up that we could sort of utilizing Azure services as well, small functions or pre-built services, or sort of go cloud and use the best of the cloud as well, together with all of these tools. Then we realized, okay, where to put the human in the loop, so to say. Okay, we have processes running with the robots, but sometimes someone needs to start it. Sometimes someone needs to look at it. Sometimes it needs to jump a step. It gets stuck, or something isn't processed correctly. And that's where we are, sorry to say that in front of the Amazon sign, but we are a Microsoft shop, so we're running Azure and Office and all of that. So I will cover the sign a bit, so Power Apps came quite in handy because it was in our license and it was in sort of our space, and that sort of opens up the door. Okay, you can even build apps with low code. We didn't sort of figure that out when we started with RPA, and that sort of opens up an even bigger door. Okay, we can solve even more things with this sort of new technology. The problem with Power Apps, a bit, to be honest, it's good at some things, maybe a bit more smaller things, but when you want to start building applications a bit more on scale, it becomes it's not built for that, at least not sort of the things we did. And that's where we started looking around and saying, okay, there has to be more tools doing sort of application in low code as well. And that's where we sort of moved into the Mendix space in 2022. So a year ago and some months now. So we found Mendix and realized, okay, this does the whole thing instead of just a part of it. And we can also build more complex apps and more sort of enterprise style. Power Apps is also enterprise in that sense. I wouldn't say that, but more sort of full stack, all the way from databases up to the user interface and logic in one tool. And also then tapping into even more cases that we felt Power Apps was sort of overstretching it if we used it to solve that problem. I think we will touch a bit on that, but I think we've been running Mendix for some time now. We started together with Pelle and Valcon, was the first, helped us sort of get up and running. And now the team internally is running it as well. So, and of course, sort of the next step this team is doing is AI. Who isn't? But for us, it's more trying to find the real business cases in it. Where is the real application on top of this personal efficiency? Where can we place it within our processes or things that it really makes a valuable case and not just a sort of cool thing to do? So that's sort of the journey from when we started until now. So the team is now 11 people. We started with 1. So it's been quite a journey for Soderberg's measures. And one key thing here that the intelligent automation team provides within Soderberg is when we did this journey, we realized that we cannot just come and say, we can automate processes now. Do you have any processes? And the business manager is just like, yeah, I have 200 more things on my table. Why should I do this as well? So we realized we have to come deeper into the value chain. Even more coming in, finding the processes or helping the team or working with the admin team to find what they are doing. Okay, what can we automate? Help to structure that. How can you solve this by using all of these tools in the toolbox, and then also bringing it to life and then maintaining it also, because otherwise it's just you coming in, building something and then handing it over. Yeah, here you go, bye. It doesn't work that way. So we also almost became an internal consultancy in that sense. And that's how we work internally as well. So we sort of sell our services internally as a consultancy, but we provide more than just development. It's actually the whole process of it. Depending on use case, of course, we can do parts of it. Sometimes we just do the process and then, yeah, you should build this with your normal, sort of the normal IT way as well. So it's not that we just need to use low code for everything. But it's quite important, I think, for us that it's not just the development. We do the whole thing. That's one key lesson I would say from this, that it's not just development. But we'll come to a bit more on that as well. So what are we going with Mendix? I will give you a few examples of what we built, but to be honest, you touched a bit on this, but from sort of normal office work stuff, you can almost build everything with Mendix, I would say. Unless you're building stock trading or sort of really heavy applications, you can most likely build most of it with it, to be honest. But is it the right fit? Not always, but technology-wise, I would say you can. So we will use Mendix a lot more, I think, in more and more business cases that comes along for Soderberg Partners or where our team is involved. But what have we done with Mendix then? We built a sales tool for our phone sales team that sell our sort of fund app. So they are calling out pension customers and adding on services. But so their process was quite manually, and they had to sign up themselves, the customer, into the sort of services. But then we built a tool so they can screen share and go through the process with the client, signing up, doing all of that work. So the sales process and the service to the new customers were really well, and I think they have increased the sales of I think 300 and 400% since they got this tool to do this process much more nicer with the customer and signing them on. And I think it's quite a small group using it, but it creates a lot of value for them. And something that the IT department don't have time to do. They have to focus on the main areas or where the brokers are, for example. We are building for non-life our invoicing platform. So we are doing a lot of invoicing. So we will collect premiums from clients and then sending them on to insurers. To do this, we need to spell out invoices, obviously. The problem with the normal ERP systems is that they will not handle the load in that sense, because it's going to be hundreds of thousands of invoices every year. Of course, they can do it, but it's not built for this process of repaying and paying it forward later on. So by building this ourselves, we can sort of automate these processes that are unique to us and then sort of provide even more value instead of changing an ERP system in a way that it's not meant to be. So this is one case where we see we do something special that is quite niche to the broker industry. And Mendix can help us build that logic and iterate that process forward as well. We have also built quote and sign tools for internal pre-brokered products. So our brokers can go in, make an offer for a quote, go through the whole process, and then signing the quote for the client internally. I think 400 people are using that app in the non-life space in Sweden, and also generates a lot of value because it streamlines the process to use these products for the brokers. So this is just free. We have built customer-facing sites. We build a lot of more internal tools as well. So what is the real benefit of having low code? For me, I would say I put visual development here. I didn't know that was a Mendix word, but apparently I'm spot on then. Part of it is, of course, faster development, but that's a lot of the talk, so sorry for saying that. But for me, that is, with AI now, coding will be faster. It's just trying to make something a bit faster. Of course, it's good, but the key thing for me is that you can use a different talent pool for the people building these things. So you can tap into more business-like people. I think you call it business technologists, but I would say not like people, of course, people coming from the business as well, but people that want to be closer to the business, but also are a bit techie from the beginning. Not just like a few coming from the business and the rest is IT. You can actually quite heavily swap towards someone that is less, so to say, maybe techie and more business driven, because then you will merge this together with the business and they will become much more fluent together. And I would say this isn't replace normal IT development, it doesn't, but it fits a sort of a good space for it.
Yeah. Question, what kind of profiles are the people in your team? What background do they have?
All of them are actually new from high school. Not high school, university is called in English, not high school. Högskola is in Swedish, yeah. Sorry. So we can go really deep into now. So they're all from university. Most of them are engineers, but not sort of software development programs, engineering-wise. More machine learning, more sort of industrial economics. So they are more leaning towards that. And to give them Mendix takes weeks to learn. To be honest, it's really fast. Of course, you have to add on how to build an application. Low code doesn't solve that, but that's something you can learn as well. But they are, I would say, a bit more forward-leaning towards want to understand the rest of the business as well. Maybe rather than being more to want to go more to the tech side. You need both, but this suits us and fits. Since Soderberg has a lot of tech developers, it's sort of this complements that and could help in these cases. Especially if you take the sales tool, for example, the people that are our counterparties are salespeople. So you need to be quite good at communicating with them and understanding what we are doing, but also understanding, talking to the developers running the back end that we need to integrate towards. So it gives a good fit in the middle, I would say. And this, I would say, together gives you a more outcome focus. Okay, solving the problem, solving the needs of the business rather than building the perfect application, if that makes sense. It's you focus on the right things, and you also elevate up to focusing on processes and not just systems. Because usually it's a process that you want to support. It's a sales process. It's not a sales system or a sales interaction. It's a lot of steps that need to go through. So it gives you also focus more on how to bung these things together that maybe just not coding can do. So you need to interlace these things. A few factors to the success within Soderberg, I would say, was executive or top management. They put us in the direction of RPA. So from the day one, we had sort of C-level buy-in to do this. And I think it's important because if they don't trust it, it will never go higher up. So, but they are not usually the hardest to convince, since it's the ROI should be better, and they usually are business minded. So, but that's an important thing. Be more than just development. I think I touched that a lot. Not just think as a new dev team that is a bit faster. Try to do more than that, and then you will fit the space that maybe doesn't exist today, or glue it together, if that makes sense. And I think, as Mendix guys touches a bit so well, start small but think big. So get going, starting something small, but also have in mind that you can scale into it. The other one factor, partner selection. So try to find the right partners that fits your size, what you're doing, your price levels, and all of that. For us, Mendix is a good fit. You drive it, I would say, more from a business side and tech side, perhaps. But even with the other ones as well, it's important to select the right tool that you feel fits what you're doing. But I would also say, don't spend too much time finding the optimal tool. Better to get going and do some value than like doing a procurement process that is 1 year long to select the right optimized tool. Maybe I'm doing it a bit, overdoing it, but yeah, it should be more of a partnership with the vendors than sort of procuring a system as well. So it should feel right and fit your sort of style and culture as well. But the last thing, just do it. I would say don't spend too much time. Should we do low code? Should we implement it? Should we just test it? Start with it, because then you will learn that it's not scary, or you will get some results out of it. You build some application, you can have that as a benchmark. And to be honest as well, a lot of these tools are free. You can, not free, but you can do free trials, sorry. I get it free from standing here, no. But a lot of them have free trials. So you sign up and test, get some in your team, depending on your role, to try it. Because then you can do proof of concept, show that it works, and then do a video. I did videos for all the management conference in Soderberg with RPA before we bought it, and just showed a process where we download documents from a broker portal, because then it becomes real. If you talk about RPA, for example, it sounds like witchcraft if you say you can automate everything you can do on a computer. So, and even with Mendix, it's just like, yeah, you can build it 10 times faster. It's just drag and drop. Yeah, sure, heard this before, but show it. It makes a lot more sense. So in that sense, just like you have to start the journey, I think. And the cool thing about this with subscription models as well, the threshold to get going isn't that big as well. And from just to add, maybe from a sort of hosting perspective, you run a lot of on AWS, but if you are more constrained, for example, Mendix could be run on other platforms as well. So that's one key to of many of these offerings as well, that they can run on the platform you already have, so you don't have to clear another cloud to get going as well. Sorry for that, Amazon as well, but or you go on Mendix straight away. So, but just to add to that, that might help you get going as well if you don't have to clear a lot of vendors at the same time as well. Some key takeaways from sort of running this so far. Now we have more tools in the toolbox, and you go from sort of one hammer fits all or one solution fits all to more platform thinking, more a toolbox thinking. And that makes it more that you can solve processes. You can combine the tools together. You can maybe do some RPA, you do a Mendix app on top of that, some document reading, some other sort of AI service or whatever it could be together, and solving the problem, because it's solving the problem is what we want to do. And with that said, of course, coding is still one tool in the toolbox. So it should be the right tool at the right place. ROI, with these tools and more tools in the toolbox, you can come at maybe cases that normal coding or the alternative cost of taking your developers from your main projects to do something else is really costly. With this, you can do it maybe cheaper, faster, or with different technologies, opening up more business cases as well. But also, I would say, be more business case thinking as well. So our team tries to help the business. Is this a good business case? Will it create them much value as well? So it's a combination of that. And yeah, also solving the business needs. That's what I think I said it 10 times now, so I will try to not do it anymore. But yeah, says itself. That's what we are here to do. And that's, I think, what our team does every day as well. Yeah, so questions or, yeah, feel free.
Yes, I was thinking about how's your relation to these old coding teams? Are you competing against each other, or?
I don't like that it feels that way a bit sometimes, but I think you will, if you implement this, you will have some friction if you have internal coding teams. That's, I think, a bit of the nature of it, but also comes from showing maybe that it's not that scary, or sort of trying to involve them. So I've done a lot of sort of demos with the coding teams of what Mendix is, what RPA is, to sort of get them excited about it as well. And to be honest, it's too much to do that. Yeah, it's enough to go around, I would say as well. But also to sort of, maybe when you're not coming from the angle that I've got to make you faster or replace you with like a citizen development, and then we don't need coders anymore or don't need developers. If you don't talk that way either, or talk more, but you can be faster or more efficient, or then it's usually also lower sort of the friction, if that makes sense.